But what's funny is, even where she went, it wasn't technically the border. You notice there were no immigrants. She was there for all of
Nope.
what, 20 minutes? Come on, we spend longer than that at the line in the grocery store. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
It was a photo op. She had no intentions of truly going to the border to see what it looks like. She knows what it looks like.
The Black and Brown Podcast.
Went to the border this week. She went to the border in Arizona. She used to be the border czar. She visited there. So interesting. Along with working at McDonald's, now that's two places she worked that have a convenient drive-through. Also, working to shore up her vulnerabilities. There's been a lot of pressure on her. She doesn't do interviews. She doesn't answer it. So she sat for an interview. She said, okay, I will answer your hardball questions. So she went on MSNBC. Okay, all right. I wasn't, there were not hardball questions, but I still expected not them to be rubbing her feet.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to an episode of Black and Brown Podcast. How are you guys doing? We have myself, Jonathan. We got Miranda here. We got Newton remotely. I'm actually in the Black and Brown studio by myself. But tonight, we're going to just do it remotely. This is our first episode where I'm doing this alone in the Black and Brown studio, but Miranda is somewhere in the United States, and so is Newton. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How's your week so far?
You said Miranda is somewhere in the United States, and you said, and Newton. What do you mean? Where am I supposed to be?
Well, I'm not disclosing her location. I know she's supposed to be traveling somewhere, so
that.
Hey.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Well, what a way to start our episode tonight, right? A guy who is actually a liberal. Let's just get on it, right? A guy who's actually liberal, hitting hard on Kamala Harris. So, what do you like here? The recent thing that he has done, right? He a monologue that he just said all this stuff against Kamala Harris, and he's a liberal. What do you hear? What's your reaction to that video right there?
About time somebody said something. I mean, I think
He's been saying something a lot.
Probably tired. Well, I think that they're finally tired of covering for her because they see how horrible she is. There's nothing they can do that can make her better. Like, seriously? There's a garbage salad every time she talks. We're beyond word salads at this point. It's trash. Like, I think they realize that there's nothing they can do to cover this up anymore. I mean, she's always been that way. The fact that people are just now finding that out, still surprising to me. Like, we live in California. We've seen her shenanigans. She's horrible. So if they think that they've got this savior and just in the wings waiting,
All of a sudden, she's a savior now.
No.
Yeah.
She's when she says that her values haven't changed, she hasn't. She's just trying to pull the wool over people's eyes because everybody's so gullible and they got TDS so bad. Whatever they can do to get this person in, but God help us. Yeah. We do not want to California the rest of the USA. Definitely.
Yeah.
Not.
Newton, is it about time that she went to the border? Isn't it about time, right? She was asked,
wow.
Right, again, I forgot that there's a video that went viral. She was asked, have you been to the border? And she said, I haven't been to Europe.
Well, I don't know why are you asking me that question? Well, I haven't been to the border either. What's your point? Your point is you're the border czar and you've never been to the border. But what's funny is even where she went, it wasn't technically the border. You notice there were no immigrants. She was there for all of what, 20 minutes? Come on, we spend longer than that at the line in the grocery store. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
It was a photo op. She had no intentions of truly going to the border to see what it looks like. She knows what it looks like. She's trying to fool people to think that, it's all poops and rainbows. Well, guess what? It's not.
I love the joke, right?
I believe.
Go ahead.
I believe the strategy that they they've employed so far is to deceive the people. There is no truth in what's going on. It's just deceit. They're building up deceit, hoping that nobody. That's why they're avoiding questions. That's why she doesn't want to answer questions. Not because she thinks that people don't know, but she hopes that she could pretend enough to mask it until she gets in the place of power. And when she gets in the place of power, she could do whatever she wants. It's a Marxist idea, and it's a Marxist idea, and everybody should be watchful of that. I'm happy that some people, even those who hate Trump, would not vote for her. I know.
But you know what's funny? They did the same thing with basement Biden. So they think since they got away with it the first time, they can get away with it again. Like, how do people not remember? Are our memories really that short that we don't see that it's the same thing, just a different format? Like, really? Are people really that gullible? I would think that if you really believe that Biden's been running this country this whole time, that man, there's nobody home. Like, seriously. There's no way he's been running it. I highly doubt she's running it. My honest.
There's nobody home. I like that.
There's nobody home.
No, there's not. I mean, I remember when Barack Obama said he would like to have a third term. He could sit in a basement in his sweatpants and just be in somebody's earpiece. Do you guys not notice when both of them talk, they have an earpiece? We've never had a president that literally moved down the street from the White House. When they're done, they deuces, I'm out. Like, they leave. This dude's still there, like down the street. If you really
because they have an agenda, they're pushing for a very bad agenda.
You know when it started? When Barack Obama put the rainbow flag colors on the White House. People tend to forget that. I didn't. It started with that. They've had a plan this whole time.
Whoops.
All of this is a plan. These people are just a pawn. And the mainstream media is like, they're all over it. They're sold out for the shenanigans. But if you want to live in a communist country, I've been to communist countries. I suggest all these people that are their supporters, just take a trip. I promise you, you'll come back and you'll see what you saw over there in her. But the fact that people are so blind, like, learn what a Marxist is. She is her father's daughter for sure, 1,000%. If people really wanted to know her, see her in what's the stuff her and Gavin did to California. Like, people really are. I don't know if they're naive or they know and they just don't care anybody but Trump. But I hope they realize that it's not just their future that's on the line. It's their children and their children's children. So keep voting thinking it's all about you when it's not.
Well, here's the thing. By the way, I want to give a shout out to who made this remote podcast possible. I want to give a shout out to our friend Paco Oras-Pagochaga, who's producing our show tonight. Hey, Paco, say something. Are you there?
It's busy. It's busy. Hey, don't forget.
Guys, it's hard to talk when you've got popcorn chicken and boba in your mouth.
Oh my goodness, I knew it.
That is so wrong.
Shout out. We're gonna
popcorn chicken and boba.
But you know what?
We're also going to put on the link on our link down below. We on the comment section we will put his link. He's got his own podcast, very very interesting podcast. So also shout out to Paco. Thank you for making this happen, man. I really appreciate it. Just going back. Hey,
thanks, Paco.
Can you? Hey, Paco. Now we have Paco doing the magic for us. Hey, can you also put on the screen what I sent you on the email about someone defending about Kamala Harris qualification to run for president? Can you just post that up? That was funny when I saw it. Like, are you kidding me?
Hilarious.
While I'm prepping it, you guys
didn't even have qualifications.
You guys can
keep
the conversation going.
So he's okay. We're going to see. Here's the thing, right?
Well, she didn't. What qualifications though, Jonathan?
I'm looking. No, let's be. One of the things.
But when you sleep your way to the top, you don't need to be qualified for anything.
I don't see what I don't get is what we talked about in the past. I just want to double down on it. She was never liked within the Democratic Party. When she ran for the primaries, right? She did not win anything. Okay, she was thrown out on the first round.
When you're installed like a dictator, that's what they've done. Like, how do people not see that? She didn't win anything. They took the rights away from anybody who had a voice, and they installed her. She didn't even get past anything to even have a primary. Like nobody wanted her. I mean, and what's
But
funny
New,
is, what, a month before all this happened, she was like the worst vice president in the world. Now she's the savior. Are you kidding me right now?
well, I think
Absolutely not.
Newton thinks she's a savior.
I
Miranda,
doubt
I
that
think
seriously.
my worry at this point is there's still this idea, or maybe it's a hope or expectation, that somehow Kamala Harris will still win the election. That's what scares me, because you see,
Yeah,
I
that
think
does.
to a logical person, you would already know that there's no way logical people would vote for this person. I know the Democrats thought bad about Trump in 2016 and thought that no reasonable person should vote, and that's why the hate from the left toward the people toward Trump supporters became really bad, because they went, "You guys are not thinking. How could you vote for Trump?" It's the same way that we are thinking, how could a reasonable person vote for Kamala? So whatever happens, that tiny little fear is still in the corner of my mind that she might still be president, and that would be devastating for the country.
I agree with you.
Not
But you know
because
what?
it's
If she
dangerous.
wins, it's a cheating. If there's no way that the numbers would be in her favor. There's no way. It's not possible.
You heard that the Democratic
Mathematically, it's
Party
not.
just sued, I think it's the state of Georgia, because of the
Yeah.
new law
Oh,
that
because of the hand counting.
because of hand counting. Yeah. Okay,
Hand
so
counting,
why
no,
would you
right.
sue if you're not planning to cheat? What is wrong with hand counting?
That's why they're suing, because if they use the machines, they can alter it remotely. You can't alter a human that's sitting there counting. I mean, that's the reason they want,
The-
because if there was no cheating, why would you stop a process that's going to guarantee that somebody actually touched that and that vote counts? Why would you do that?
Let me
There'd be
hold
no
on. Let me push
incentive.
back a little bit. Let me push back on a little bit on the hand counting. Okay, as you all know, I'm an immigrant, a Filipino, right? I think the problem with the hand counting is that it's gonna drag. It's gonna drag big time. Because I've
I'm
seen
sure
it.
it will.
I witnessed it. When growing up in the Philippines, all of our elections were hand counted. It didn't stop the cheating. Well, it's not. Well, the cheating was more vote buying when I was growing up. It was rampant. The people's vote were being bought, and the hand counting. It took weeks up to months. Remember when they recounted Bush and
Oh, the
Al
recount,
Gore
yes.
in Florida?
And Al Gore.
Do you remember
Yeah.
how long that dragged? So hey, I'm just trying to be as fair as possible. Yes, I keep telling people everybody has biases, but you can try to be as balanced as possible. I think there
Jonathan,
should
one
be a
second.
way. Go ahead.
Jonathan, I'm going to cut you off. Which party complains about election results dragging? Which party complains typically?
The Democrats.
It's the Republicans.
The Dem-
No, it's the Republicans.
No.
Because it's the Democrats
It's actually
that
the
drag
Republicans.
results. Yes. So the Republicans are not complaining now because they know that the hand counting is going to stop Georgia being stolen by some kind of fraudulent means. So why is that a problem for the Democrats? The same Democrats who delayed Philadelphia Pennsylvania for days after the election results.
Right.
How is that a problem for them?
Because
That's
they
my
know they
question.
don't have control of the counting, though. I think it's because it's a lack of control.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, right?
I don't think another reason.
I really have no doubt. I mean, when you look in social media, for the most part, well, when we're talking about typical, just regular Joe, and I would look at, I just pulled out the White House Instagram page. Okay, if you
Okay.
are following the White House Instagram page, you will never, I've never seen a positive comment on the White House page, and we're talking about tens and thousands of comments, and you would always see the criticism that the White House get. So even just recently, I just saw, like, when
You mean
Bill
no
Maher
matter
was
what,
just talking.
who's in office? Is that what you mean? No matter who is in
Well,
office?
in this point, no. I've never followed the White House until this administration. So I would
Okay.
look at the White House page. Every comment, I've never seen a positive comment on the Instagram White House page. Nothing. They're all against Kamala Harris. They're just all the comments are all common sense, right? Like right now, how many interviews have Kamala Harris have participated in? She went to
2.
Oprah. She went to ABC. She has recently with basketball. I don't know if you've seen this video. I'm a big basketball fan, and so he went to there's a podcast called All the Smoke by 2 basketball players. I forgot their names, but off the top of my head, but I know these guys. But one of the major questions, all 3 interviews that I've seen, I've watched, the most common question is, what is your policy to solve for the middle class? That the groceries are so high, everything is so expensive. What's your plan? Her answer is not an answer. It's always like, I came from a middle-class family. I grew up in a middle-class family. This is what we did. My grandma this. My mother is this. No specific answer. Why?
But
because if she would try to answer it, she knows she's gonna go into a deeper hole. She cannot answer that question because she and Biden created this economy today that you and I are all affected. So now when we talk about the common sense, right? The comments, because just a question that I have asked my liberal friends, my friends who have voted for Biden, even my Christian friends who have voted for Biden, I asked them the question, how are you back 4 years ago? Are you better off today or 4 years ago? No one would really answer that question directly because it affects all of us.
Well, they know what
all
the
these
answer
decisions,
is, and they don't want to admit that it was better when Trump was there. What's funny is, how is it? Well, it's not funny actually. It's really sad that she is the reason for this. Remember the last one in the room, and she admitted that she voted all of this stuff in, all of this that's happening. She was the final vote. So why she's trying to distance herself and why is everything about Trump? You notice this entire presidency, nothing's been about policy or stuff they've done. It's all been about Orange Man bad. Guess what? Orange Man's been out of the office for almost 4 years now. This is your
anybody but Trump. Anybody but Trump.
But they walked into what, a 1.4 something or a 1.5 deficit when they walked in.
That's why the VP running.
So now we're at a
he shot himself in the foot when he announced on the campaign stage that we cannot have 4 more years of this, and everybody was saying, "How could you say that? You're the ones in office. You're saying you can't have 4 more years of it." You know, so it's not the greatest thing.
See, that's what. Hey, let's just put ourselves here. Let's just put. Let's try. Can we try? Let's play a game. Can we try to defend Kamala Harris?
Guys, before you play,
I really want to try.
No way.
Paco's saying something.
Before you guys play the game, the video's ready. If you want to watch it, then.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What video do you have for us, Pox?
For the interview with Kamala with those 2 NBA players.
Oh yeah! Whoa! I want to see that.
Okay.
Put it up.
Yeah.
All the smokes.
I haven't seen this. I'd love to see it.
Go. Don't worry, he's
What
going
is
to edit
kind of
it.
your economic plan moving forward for people who are living paycheck to paycheck and struggling for groceries and rent and homeowners?
So, look, I grew up.
Here we go!
Oh my God! No!
So my sister and I were raised by our mother. We lived for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center.
Just answer the question, okay? Please don't play with me right now.
That child care center was actually owned by a woman who lived 2 doors down from us, Mrs. Shelton, who was, by all of our accounts and feelings, our second mother. She helped raise us.
I'm embarrassed.
Do what now?
And so she was a small business owner. So I'll start with the small business and congratulations on what you guys have done. I, from a child, knew who our small business owners are, right? I mean, you're business leaders, but you're also civically.
This woman is a train wreck. Are you serious? Does anybody notice she never answers her talking points? She has memorized them back and forth. What an actress. She's got an Academy Award, the Oscars. She won them all for that performance that she repeats constantly over and over every time she's asked that question. She never answers the question. But the reason she doesn't answer it is so when she gets in and she continues what she's doing, no one can say, oh, you promised us this or that. Because if people are really smart, she's promised them nothing except to continue more of what we have. Like, are they really that? You would think that everybody, if you're struggling so bad and you're having to pinch pennies to watch what you're doing, you would focus and make sure the person who you're going to vote in power is going to be somebody that's going to make you be able, or not make you, but at least help you be able to provide for your family and go back to being comfortably, relatively okay with your finances, like you were almost 8 years ago.
Miranda,
I mean,
so what evidence do you have?
I don't understand it.
What evidence
do I have? What? Oh, I
that-
know how much money I had before she got in office. And I know how much I'm paying for the same food that I bought then now.
Okay. Do you know who caused it?
And my pockets show me. Oh, absolutely.
Do you know who's responsible for that?
They rolled back all the policies that were working.
No, it's the Republicans in Congress who did not pass whatever bill they were trying to pass. That's who they blame for it.
Okay, first of all, they can blame whoever they want to. And the reason that border bill didn't pass is because it was still letting like 5,000 people in a day or some crazy shenanigans like that.
Hey, we got 11 million people across the border already.
You believe that number if you want to. I promise you it's higher than that. All I got to say is they're not counting the people that they fly in. They're counting the people that cross that border, not the people that they fly in from all these other countries.
There's some they never encountered that just crossed.
That's right.
But what's funny is that border bill didn't pass because it wasn't going to help anything. They keep making it sound like, oh, we were going to leave money for more agents. You called ICE people the KKK, and you don't want the wall, and you want amnesty, and you really want me to believe that this was an honest border bill? It wasn't. There was a reason it didn't pass. So stop making it sound like the Republicans are the bad boogeymen, because they're not.
By the way,
but somebody has to have some physical responsibility.
Yeah, there's this information I heard that new immigrants are rapidly becoming citizens as quickly as possible.
Yes.
They're pushing it.
Kamala Harris signed a bill
quick so they could vote.
For them.
So they could vote. They're pushing it. Things that would normally delay before they're expediting the process of many people becoming citizens, just because they want them to vote, which is basically the theory that we had before, that's the main reason they're letting people in, especially asylum seekers, because the asylum seekers can become citizens, right? But it is the people who crossed illegally that would not. So flying them in as asylum seekers, they automatically become citizens.
That's what they're doing
without having to go through any crazy stuff.
Because they're doing that when they go to get when they sign up for food stamps and Medicaid, Medicare, all of that. When they're doing all of that, that's when they're automatically gaining supposedly temporary citizenship for so many years. But we both know that that's not temporary. That's so they can get them in and they're eligible right now. This has all been a plot. And you know what's funny? People are so crazy. They have keep pushing this abortion thing. Well, our numbers to reproduce just to us is down really, really low. You're bringing in all these new people that are going to like migrate like rabbits. So it's like you're depleting one population, encouraging them to do away with themselves if you want to be honest about it, because that's what they're doing.
Because they're racist.
I mean, I've never seen somebody push. Well, no, I've just never seen somebody push the extinction of people on themselves, and people are so blind that they think that it's giving them free will to just be able to murder their children.
Remember that, Miranda, so the people who think, for example, I meet white people who say they accept that they're racist and they need to apologize. You know, people like that.
Wow.
Oh God. They've been brainwashed to that point.
So people
That's
like
sad.
that are just trying to feel better about themselves. It's more like you doing atonement for your sins, and ignoring whether Jesus already died for you or not.
Stockholm syndrome to me.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it is. So people just
That's
try
what it
to
sounds like to me.
find redemption in anything. If I ever meet any other white person, feel guilty for being white, I'm out. I'm not hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Because something is
Yeah.
wrong with you mentally.
Well, let me tell you this. I think I haven't shared with you guys this offline. One of my good friends who voted for Trump, right, and got involved and got mixed up with liberal friends,
Yeah.
has been pushing back on, because what are major issues that we are facing right now? We're facing the abortion issue as conservatives. We're facing the LGBTQ ideology that's being shoved into everybody's throats, right? We're facing immigration. I have a friend whose law enforcement has been really warning us there is an inevitable terrorist attack that's going to happen because our border for the past 3 years have been so porous. Again, we can debate all we want when it comes to the numbers, but at the end of the day, it is true that a lot of terrorists has crossed and entered our country through the southern border, and there are
Over 350 that we know of.
Correct, and we don't know where they are. They're hiding and they're planning something. It doesn't take it to be a rocket scientist to figure this out, and that's what's happening. Here's my point sharing that. The thing is, for the 2020 election, I think I'm guilty of this. I've held my values. I've held the things that I hold dearly in my heart when it comes to policies, and try to tell people, we should be going for the conservative ideologies over leftist ideologies. So we've been quiet, and I'm glad we're doing this podcast. It might be hodgepodge and doing a lot of things. So we're kind of all over the place. But what I'm glad that we're finally doing this, and we're going to do this as regularly as possible. And we all have full-time jobs. Before anything else, we're going to land this because this is our first episode remotely. For those who are watching, and we've been surprised for our 3 episodes that we posted online. We've been very surprised of the response that we get. We have so much stories to tell people of how the response we got for our first 3 episodes. It's been amazing, and it's been also surprising in a lot of ways. So for those of you who are watching, please make sure to like and subscribe. And again, on the comment section, please, this is a free country. We're promoting free speech. The only thing we're asking you guys is not to engage into any kind of insults. And let's have a good debate, conversation on the comment section. So please like and subscribe and share this video. We appreciate all of you guys very, very much. So right now, my goal, what I'm hoping moving forward, is to make sure we get the conservative voice out there, like what we're doing right now. And quite frankly, at this point, I haven't shared. By the way, have you guys shared with your friends about our podcast? For the most part, I have shared it with family and close friends. I haven't pushed about this in social media. By the way, how about you guys?
Yeah, not social media. I've told my mom
one-on-one
and a couple of people, but that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that! It says subscribe. Yes. Sorry, Newton. You were saying Newton.
I'm just saying I have one-on-one friends who are aware of it and they're waiting for the next one. But I haven't shared on any social media platform. But with this, I'm putting it on Facebook first. Facebook and Instagram, I'm doing it. I don't care at this point. I don't care anymore. I really don't care.
Wow.
I can't let you vote for
Facebook,
Kamala
and
then she makes some terrible decisions to affect my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, to me though, that's why I wanted to play that game where, like, I want to see the argument. I'm trying to see the argument on the other side. I really can't. I can see, like we talked about this in our previous episodes. We can see how people don't like Trump. I get that part, being unethical or his private life, right? We can debate that. But the policies comparing to the policy of Kamala Harris and Biden, I mean, just the daily life. You were talking about groceries. I go to Costco every single week. I know I've been going to Costco every single week for the past 20 years. I know the prices, quite frankly. And I always, the best example I always tell people is like the price of cooking oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. It was $6.99. Now it's playing between $12.99 and $16.99. It's going back and forth. And then when I would watch those statistics that would say, "Oh, prices of this went up 12%, 15%." But wait a second, chicken, I would used to get it for $1.99. It's not 12%. I don't know what. I don't know where they get the statistics when it
Yeah, they
comes
do
to our
month
daily
to month.
groceries.
That's what they say. They choose the statistics that make it look better. So they do month to month instead of doing year to year or a long range statistic. So they're just not from the beginning till now. They just do, oh, it was this in the month of August, so now in September it just went up to 2%. So they tell you about the 2%.
Okay.
And yeah.
So what's going to be the new thing? Okay, so we've got a problem right now with the longshoremen. They've just shut down our shipping. So there's not going to be at midnight was it. They shut down all the ports. So I believe it was.
What's going to happen with the products now?
New Jersey. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If we're complaining about prices now, you're just now seeing this. Okay. So in New Jersey, there were 6 boats that didn't make it before midnight. That at this morning at like whatever time they docked, they're literally sitting out in the ocean because they can't. There's nobody to offload anything, and that's nationwide. That's not just on the East Coast. I know you keep hearing on the news the East Coast. It's not. It's all of them.
Is that a strike? Is it a union strike?
Everything done. Absolutely, it's a strike. It's a union strike. Countrywide.
What are they asking for?
So you're complaining about what you're paying for stuff now? Oh gosh, there was a list of stuff. They wanted like a 78% increase in pay. They wanted
78%. I want that.
They wanted. No. I think it started at 50. It went from 50 to 70, 78. But the thing that was offered to them, it was offered 50%. And something else with their retirement. And they said no, because they wanted more. But and I kind of get their reasoning because during the pandemic, we've been here before. So this is going to be the second time with them in office that this has happened. Hasn't happened before them right now that I can remember that it's shut down like this. But it's crazy that this is happening now. Is this our October surprise? I've got a feeling it's something more. I think this is just the small potatoes. I don't know if this is like a distraction, but there's no way that they're not going to get what they want because and the White House knew this was going on. Like for months, this has been in negotiations for some time now because they've been complaining since I think the pandemic. Why are you waiting till now and you still have done nothing? If you're so focused, and you're there for the American people, why can you not make sure that if nothing else, we've had supply chain issues before during COVID. COVID's over. So your excuse now is what? That you just don't want to give them what they're asking for? Because there is no other excuse. I mean, I think it's highway robbery, but I mean, if that's what they get, I mean, most of those dock workers on a low end bring in like $180,000 a year. The majority are closer to 300,000. And I get it's a tough job and they want more money. I get it. But it shouldn't have come to this because if you're in office and it's really, the people are really important to you and you really want me to believe that as a person, show me. Yeah. Because your actions show me something totally different. So I get what you're saying, Jonathan, about the difference in going to Costco. Now, to be honest with you, I don't see a benefit in Costco right now, only because the prices are so ridiculous.
It's crazy.
If they were like they were, it would make sense. But right now, I mean, just hearing you talk about it, how much, it's cheaper to go to the grocery store and buy one of something rather than to buy both anymore. I mean, it's crazy.
So that's the thing I'm going to close with this, right? I'm going to start with Newton. In simple terms, right? In simple terms, why are we voting and supporting Trump?
I, for one, I want to answer this in a different way because let's say the economy was good, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But so the economy is a good reason for me. Two, let's say the border was secure, because the border is another reason I'm voting this time. But
I know where
say
you're going
those
with this.
Wait, let's say those two were perfect, even under this administration. Good economy, good border. I still would vote Trump because of other policies. Like, one, they would not tax me to death. They will not kill the factories. They will not give me policies that are ungodly and force it upon parents and children. Okay, I would agree with those things. They would not sell me ideas that are of the devil and expect me to conform because it is the government that is telling me to do it. There's so many reasons, but right now, if we leave the personal, spiritual aspects or any other aspect, definitely the economy and the border. But the policies generally are of the devil. That's why I would not vote a Democrat, and that's why I've never voted a Democrat. Unless something changes in the future, no, I will never vote a Democrat.
Very
I
bold
agree with
statements.
you.
Miranda, I'm going to give it to you. Come on. We're going to close this out.
So I would never vote that way. I take issue with people that tell me they're a Christian, but they align themselves with that party that goes against basic things for the Bible. So this women's reproductive rights, it's not reproductive if you're killing the children. So again,
It's
sugarcoating.
sugarcoating. It's sugarcoating abortion. We know that. There's no other way.
And I agree with Newton. If the economy was okay, if the border was secure, I still couldn't. I've never voted Democrat ever in my life. My family probably, who will see this, will be surprised. I've never once in my life. I've been in the same party forever since I was 18. My morals and my belief in God and what He tells me trumps what somebody is trying to sell me. So you can sell rainbows and polka dots shooting out of a unicorn's tuchus. I can't buy that because I know ultimately all of this is evil. There's none of it that's going to lead me to peace. So if I'm voting for something that's against my beliefs, then I have no say in what actually happens. So if you think that you're going to vote this way and it's going to change everything and it's going to be different, this is the same person that's created the policies that you're trying to vote against. So make it make sense that you created a problem that you want me to believe now that you want to fix it, and I'm supposed to believe that. Morally, those people are bankrupt. I'm sorry. I will love you as a person, but if that's your beliefs are your beliefs. I'm not pushing mine on you. I don't want you to push yours on me. And I won't condemn you for your beliefs. Just know that our relationship's going to have this. We're here. Like, we're never going to be here because I can't condone that. I can't.
Well, here's the thing. I'm glad we're doing this because at the end of the day, I'm glad we have a voice. This is a free country and we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to keep pushing for these. When you said something about I'm not going to push it, I will. We're doing this podcast because I am pushing for the right thing. I say this all the time with friends. I
think it's more educating than pushing. I don't think you're pushing.
Correct.
I think you're trying to educate people to make that's my purpose, to educate people so they can make the right choice. Not to push it on them.
I'm very pushy.
I would think that you are, but I just think that if you're informed with actual factual information,
avoid intellectual laziness.
Yeah, exactly. Not people pushing a 2-point snippet of something that somebody said and you believe the context and what they tell you instead of the context that it was said, and then that makes you hate this person, but they're giving you actually nothing other than hate for you to decide what on.
Miranda,
Because what
this
are
is
they
what this
offering?
is.
There's no policies. I mean, you don't have to like. I don't like what he says, depending on what it is. I don't care what he did in his personal life. He's not a pastor. So I'm not looking at him through those lenses. I'm looking at policy. Is that policy going to be beneficial to me and my family? And if it's not, then okay, I'll look somewhere else. But all of them have done stuff. So if we're going to talk about somebody who's cheated on their wife, let's see, Kamala slept with Willie Brown. I'm sure Mrs. Brown wouldn't happy about that. Like if we want to go there, like it's been
That's
on
for
both
another
sides.
podcast, you guys.
So
We got
let's not do apples and oranges unless you're ready for that game, because we can play it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Go ahead. Last words, Newton.
I hope. Okay. So I just wanted to say that the only issue I have with the left is they believe they need to be in a position of power to do the right thing. That when they sell the idea to you and you say, no, I don't want that, then their next move is, okay, I'm going to show you that this is what we must do. So they strive to get in a position of power, and then compel you to do that thing that you said no to. And that's what I
That
consider
sounds like Marxism to
of
me.
the
Some
devil.
communism in there a little bit.
There's no way that's
sprinkled in there a
godly.
little bit. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I wish we had more time, but we're gonna end this right now. Again, special thanks to our producer Paco Respocochaga. Thank you very much for
Thank you,
doing this,
Paco.
making this all possible to do it remotely. I really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And again, for those of you who have watched all the way through this point, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the Black and Brown podcast. We're expecting you guys to like and subscribe and share and comment anything that you have seen, you have heard that you disagree with. Please go ahead and let's have a decent civilized conversation on the comment section. We appreciate all you guys. For all of you who have watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. Until the next episode, bye for now. Bye, Miranda. Bye, Newton. See you next time with the next podcast.
Bye-bye.
Call me